Hi, I'm Bruce with Improving English with a Southern Accent. Some people have asked how I learned my Southern accent. So starting from this video, I began talking about my learning experience. But before I start, here's a quick commercial. A feedlot, Cochran County Feeders in West Texas, is for sale. It has about 300 acres of confined animal feeding area and around 745 acres of tilled and irrigated land, which is also eligible for organic farming. The feedlot has a permitted drainage system by Texas Commission on Environmental Quality and is close to different feed sources, cattle sources, packing houses, and universities. If you're interested, more information is in the description box. Alright, here are some of the obstacles that I either encountered or witnessed from other people on the path to speak Southern. Number 1, putting the effort. There's a misconception that if someone goes to another country, language learning becomes easy. But the truth is, reality varies from people to people. Going to a foreign land to study may help a lot, but if a person goes to another country just for travel or work, then that will make language learning a bit more difficult. Traveling is usually short fun, and work often won't leave people enough time or energy to do something else, so learning becomes a luxury that many people aren't able to or not willing to afford. I'm not really a smart or talented person, so for a period of more than 1.5 years, on average, I was spending 3 to 4 hours a day just to listen to videos where Southerners talk. For the first 6 months, that number was about 5 to 6 hours. During days when there was no school and work, my listening would start from the moment I woke up and wouldn't end until I fell asleep, which means I was still listening even though my eyes were closed. One of the videos that I used as learning material was a comedian's show on YouTube. And for that video, I probably listened to it more than 100 times. The repetition of the listening did help me to further capture the distinctive features of Southern accents. Number 2, awareness of a claim to what's familiar. Psychologically, there are adjustments a person needs to make when being in another country, whether it's excitement or frustration. Both can be mentally exhausting. Some adversaries can be momentary, and some can be long-lasting. So from time to time, being foreign is kind of equivalent to being a confused and vulnerable soul. Plus, east or west, home is the best. As the person deals with what's not familiar, the need to find some comfort becomes intensified. That comfort could range anything from food to movies to loved ones to race identity to religions and many other things far beyond. That's why in any international community, it won't be hard to find clusters of cultural groups. Similar language, customs, and values bring closeness. I do not see anything wrong with that, but depending on how deep and how long a person decides to be part of that comfort zone, thicker cultural barriers and even animosity towards something different could be constructed, which will damage a person's willingness to better his or her language skills and could potentially stagnate a cultivating relationship in the very space between the person and all the unknowns in his or her life. Number 3, dealing with elusive identity shift. Today there are many places on earth where a foreigner doesn't need to adjust much in order to just live. Educational and even religious institutions typically provide smooth transition for foreigners. So when I just came here for college, I didn't feel any turbulence until I decided to put on a cowboy hat, started to wear boots and jeans, and learn the accents in order to be more Southern. Not only did my outfit change, but also my voice. Initially, it was kind of cool to look into the mirror and say, hey look, what a charming and handsome cowboy. But over time, I had to start to question myself, do I really deserve to be like this? I can't remember how many times when wind blew away my hat and people walked by me tried their best to not laugh their ass off. Some of them didn't even try. There were also moments that the change of my voice pitch was so drastically twisted because I was desperately attempting to pronounce things right in a Southern way. Even I cringed when I heard myself, because that was not what I used to sound like when I spoke English. Indeed, I began to have a strong feeling of not having any sense of cultural belonging. I'd ask myself, what am I trying to become, and who am I trying to fool with? Eventually I realized those were the wrong questions to ask. Whoever I was and whoever I was trying to build myself into won't matter much, because at the very end, I'm still me and I'm just me, nothing more, nothing less. And it's the same for everybody else. So just cowboy on and live as one in the ways I know and in the ways I can. Thanks for watching.